In our series On the Ballot, we've been introducing you to candidates who are running for state and federal office in 2024. We've already dug into races in North Carolina, Delaware, and Maryland. All of those races will be decided next year. Well, today we want to talk about a race that will be decided this year. Voters in Rhode Island's 1st congressional district are heading to the polls in about 2 weeks, folks. That's when early voting gets underway in the state's first special election in decades. The race is in a reliably blue district, but it could serve as an early bellwether of sentiment inside the party's base in the absence of a real presidential primary. There are 12 Democrats that are vying to replace former Congressman David Cicilline and a former advisor to President Biden, Gabe Amo. He is on the ballot and making the case that voters should choose him to represent them based on his experience. Well, Gabe Amo, a candidate in Rhode Island's congressional race, joins me now. Good to see you, Gabe. Okay, so when you announced your candidacy, you said that the 1st congressional district needs someone who can deliver on day one. By my count, you've identified 3 very clear priorities: gun violence, protecting Medicare and Social Security, and reproductive freedom. So how are you going to deliver on that on day one? What's your plan?
Yes. First off, Simone, thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor to be with you. I plan to use the experience that I built working for President Biden in the White House to be effective for the people of the 1st congressional district. And how can I do that on an issue like gun violence, for example? Is tap into the anger and the frustration that so many local leaders around the country have had in response to gun violence. As you might remember, I was the person who called from the White House to offer condolences on behalf of the president, but also to help communities heal. And I think taking that action, taking that energy, especially in a role where I had to work with Republicans and Democrats to be a part of solutions around the country, that's what I want to do in Congress. And that's how I think I can be effective for people in Rhode Island.
In the 2022 midterm election, the cost of living was Rhode Island voters' biggest concern by far. We've got a poll up on the screen. Voters are, in fact, still worried about the economy. You acknowledge this. There's a real chance that Democrats take back the House in 2024, but lose the Senate. So how, if you are elected as a member of the House, would you work with your Republican colleagues across the aisle and across another chamber to get something done on the economy?
Yeah, dollars and cents issues matter so much for people. And when I was in the White House working to advocate for the passage of the bipartisan infrastructure law, it was clear cut. When we called Republican mayors across the country to encourage them to call their Republican members, they could point to the specific roads and bridges they needed work on, the broadband they needed, and focusing on things that matter, things that have a material benefit to people in communities across the country is an effective strategy to make that message come across. And that's what I promise to do for people in Rhode Island, is focus on our core issues around our economy, because it's always top of mind, as you identify.
If elected, you would be heading to House of Representatives, where Republicans are very seriously considering impeaching your former boss, President Biden. What do you think about theatrics like that in Congress?
Well, this is one of the fundamental problems with extreme Republicans across the country. Instead of focusing on the core issues that we need to be focused on, like protecting Social Security and Medicare, like making sure that we are free from the threat of gun violence, like dealing with the challenges that we are experiencing with climate change, they want to put forward ideas that aren't where the country wants us to focus. The president has been doing an excellent job, and I am so thrilled to have that experience on my resume, and I look forward to supporting him vigorously for re-election.
Gabe Amo, thank you very much for joining us today. Good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.